This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Bob Devaney Sports Center for this presentation of the NSAA Girls State Basketball Tournament on News Channel Nebraska. I'm Michael Shively, joined by Alex Loroff. The third member of our team is Chris Williams on the sideline, and we are excited to be here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center for what is the first live television broadcast of state quarterfinal basketball in Nebraska. We're going to be at the Devaney Center for all 6 games, bringing that to you live on NCN today. Tomorrow we head to the Pinnacle Bank Arena, and we'll bring all 6 games of the semifinals live to you on television as well. And we have an excellent matchup for the first broadcast today. In Class C1, we have number 4 West Point Beemer against number 5 Lincoln Christian. Alex, who are a couple of the key players to watch for today?
Well, Michael, for West Point Beemer in their maiden voyage here to the state tournament as this co-op, the key player here today for the Cadets is going to be Sierra Kyle, one of the leading scorers on West Point Beemer this season, averaging 14 points per game. The Cadets are going to need Kyle to get going early on here if they want to be successful in their first ever state tournament game here today. And for Lincoln Christian, they're a staple here of the state tournament. Head coach Nick Orduna, his 20th season with the Crusaders. For Lincoln Christian, it's going to be Olivia Hollenbeck, as it has been all season long. Has been a force down low, averaging 16 points per game. If she gets in a rhythm early on, it's going to be very tough for West Point Beemer to stop Hollenbeck today.
We have an excellent slate of basketball ready for you at the Devaney Center. We have tip-off coming up soon between West Point Beemer and Lincoln Christian on News Channel Nebraska.
Family. Somewhere you're always welcome. Honesty. Staying true to who you are. Integrity. Saying what you mean, doing what you say. Defining what's important. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Get diagnosed and treated online for a variety of common medical conditions with Faith Regional Physician Services virtual visit. It's easy to use. Log in anytime and answer a series of questions related to how you are feeling and the symptoms you are experiencing, just like you would at a doctor's office. Next, your online interview will be sent to one of our local providers at Faith Regional Physician Services, who will then review your responses, create a treatment plan, and send a prescription to the pharmacy of your choice if needed. You'll receive a response by email or text message within 1 hour during clinic hours, or the next morning if submitted after hours. Cost is only $40. And if we can't treat you online, you won't be charged. No appointments, no waiting rooms. Get treated from wherever you are. Faith Regional Physician Services virtual visit. The right care, right here. Start your visit at frpsclinics.org.
That is right. It's a basketball family, to say the least. I'm here with the mom of them all, Kim Shepard, and we're just going to be talking about the game today. So to start off, you've seen your daughter play. You talked about you've seen your daughters playing big games. How is it different watching her coach in a big game?
I think it's almost more difficult watching them coach than it is to watch them play. So, but she's really talented, and I think they're going to do well.
And what was your reaction when you first found out they're playing Lincoln Christian, since you played there and she played there?
I was kind of disappointed. I was hoping that was more of a championship game, just because I don't know who to cheer for. Obviously, my alma mater, but obviously in the end, I cheer for my daughter.
You're not going to get confused midway through and start switching up on us, are you?
I sure hope not.
And then, what was any advice you gave to her coming into this game? Did you give her any advice?
I didn't. I just told her to have fun and enjoy it. And either way, she's a winner. She's done a great job with this team.
And then you were talking, if they make it to the finals, that'll be on Saturday. Then your other daughter is playing senior night on Sunday. Are you going to be able to make it to both those games?
We are. We plan on making it to the championship game first at 9 a.m. here, and then we'll head out to Jess's game at Notre Dame.
And which one are you more excited for?
Probably the championship game. Those are exciting. I love watching championship games.
Well, we're excited, but they got to win this game first if they're going to make it to that championship game. Thanks for talking to us. I'll let you go get settled in and enjoy the game. So let's go back up to Alex and Michael.
Well, thank you very much there, Chris. That's a look at Kim Shepard, the mother of West Point Beemer Cadets head coach Taylor Shepard in her first season at the helm of the Cadets. And you might think, Shepard, all right, what is that name? How have I heard that? Oh, well, every major basketball player in the state seems to be a Shepard. Let's see the family tree for you. Jessica Shepard, she is the star at Notre Dame. She's a former first-team All-Big Ten player, one of the best players in Nebraska high school basketball history. Well, Taylor's her older sister. You also have Clayton Shepard, who's now the head coach at Cedar Bluff for the boys team. And the parents, you have Kim right there, a Lincoln Christian graduate and one of their all-time best players, Father Mark Shepard, a longtime coach, along with his stint as superintendent for Fremont, and the grandpa at the top of that family tree, Wes Shepard, coached for 48 years. The grandfather who started this family tree. You also see that basketball history along that Shepard side. Well, they're getting ready for the anthem here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we'll get your 5 points of impact and tip-off. You're watching High School Hoops on News Channel Nebraska.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would ask now that we please rise and remove your hats. One of the United States.
The cattle business, the cattle industry, is the largest industry in the state of Nebraska. The University of Nebraska system feeds on that both through their development of students, development of personnel that end up, moving into this industry, becoming a major player in it, and also the economic impact that brings and the research that these institutions do to support it. You just don't have one segment without all the rest of it. And the University of Nebraska is at the central portion of that.
Norfolk Auto Center is now offering a lifetime powertrain warranty when you purchase a new Chevy, Buick, or GMC. This warranty covers the basic powertrain like engine, transmission, transfer case, all-wheel drive assembly, and drivetrain assembly. Unlimited time, unlimited mileage at no cost to you. Just one more reason to buy your next new vehicle at Norfolk Auto Center, Northeast Nebraska's volume leader. Visit them on the West Highway 275 bypass or online at norfolkchevy.com. Norfolk Auto Center, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
You are a Nebraska farmer. You defined tough. You pushed the limit. You gave it all you had. And when you got to the end of the field, you turned around and we were there behind you every step of the way. Our success is measured by our understanding of your farm. It is measured in your trust in us at Aurora Cooperative. Tougher together, Aurora and you.
Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Michael Shively and Alex Loroff with you. Chris Williams courtside, bringing us interviews and insight throughout the game. Right now it's time for our 5 points of impact, brought to you by 5 Points Bank. Proud to support area coaches and athletes. 5 Points Bank, the better bank. Number 5, Lincoln Christian. Number 4, West Point Beemer. Getting ready to start us off today. Alex, what do you think about the keys on the board right now?
Well, for Lincoln Christian, as you can see, point number 1, avoid foul trouble. Lincoln Christian needs their top players to be on the court throughout this one here today if they want to be successful against the West Point Beemer Cadets. And that also goes into point number 2. Feed Hollenbeck, mentioned it in the pregame. Olivia Hollenbeck, the key player for Lincoln Christian, averaging 16 points per game. The go-to offensive option for Lincoln Christian. She needs to get the ball early and often. Point number 3 for West Point Beemer, don't get starstruck. This, again, their first trip to Lincoln to the state tournament. They need to focus on their game plan and drown out all the noise. Easier said than done. Point number 4 for West Point Beemer, attack the boards, especially defensively. Don't allow Olivia Hollenbeck to crash the offensive glass, get second chance opportunities. West Point needs to clean up the glass. And point number 5 for both teams, establish their tempo and style. Whichever team is able to execute their game plan to the fullest extent possible will be successful here today in our first quarterfinal matchup of the C1 tournament, Michael.
Well, Alex, I think this is a fascinating matchup. We've already gone through the family tree for the Shepard Shepard family, which is a storyline in and of itself, but the Lincoln Christian ties there are abundant for the West Point Beemer Cadets head coach. She graduated from Lincoln Christian. She played under Lincoln Christian head coach Nick Orduna. An assistant coach for Lincoln Christian, well, that was her roommate at Midland University, not to mention her mother, one of the all-time greats at Lincoln Christian, and her grandfather, who won a state title as boys coach at Lincoln Christian. Also, her uncle did that same thing. So plenty of Lincoln Christian ties. But after that, the similarities between these teams stop. You have a guard-oriented West Point Beemer squad, and you have a Lincoln Christian team that wants to get it down low.
You're speaking of that guard-oriented West Point Beemer squad. Again, we mentioned really throughout the pregame here today, the players such as Sierra Kyle, who was our key player for the West Point Beemer Cadets, Sydney Swanson as well, a very dynamic guard, both players averaging 14 points per game. So it's really that 1-2 tandem for West Point Beemer that they need to get out and get active here today. And again, the key really all game long, we're going to be keeping a very close eye on Olivia Hollenbeck. You're going to be hearing that name quite a bit here today as Lincoln Christian. Again, she is the go-to player for Coach Orduna and this squad. Orduna in his 20th season coaching Lincoln Christian. He's very familiar with this stage, 5th straight trip to state for the Crusaders and 9th in the last 10 years.
That's a heck of a record there for the Christian Crusaders. West Point Beemer, some newcomers to state. Here's a look at your starting lineups. First for the number 5 Lincoln Christian Crusaders, entering this game at 17-8 on the season. Barrett Power, a 5'8" junior. McKiley Ailes, a 5'8" sophomore, getting the start. Allison Cordy puts up nearly 6 per game, but gets over 3.5 steals per contest. Macy Arnold is a 6-foot junior in the starting lineup. Olivia Hollenbeck averaging over 16 points and nearly 8 rebounds per game for the Crusaders. For the West Point Beemer Cadets, Darian Repschlager in the starting lineup, a 5'6" senior forward. Sydney Swanson also in the starting lineup. The leading scorer, a 5'7" sophomore. Brooke Hawsey, a do-it-all center at 5'11". Andrea Hoffman in the starting lineup, putting up 8.5 per game. And Sierra Kyle averaging 14.5 points per contest. She's our key player for the Cadets. We're getting ready for tip-off here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, the first live television broadcast of quarterfinal state basketball in the state of Nebraska, and we're ready. Are you ready, Alex?
I'm absolutely ready, Michael. I'm ecstatic to be here. I can't wait.
It's time to enjoy the game, brought to you by United Healthcare. And we're underway. Lincoln Christian in the blue and red gets the tip-off, and they set things up. Looking already right inside, but double teamed by that zone defense of the Cadets. They're trying to get it into Hollenbeck. Instead, it's turned over by the Crusaders, and the first chance for points belongs to the Cadets.
Great defensive possession early on by West Point Beemer. You mentioned the double team, Michael, not allowing the 6'4" Hollenbeck get any sort of a clean look, but then right away a carry against the Cadets. So back-to-back turnovers now by both of these teams as early on in the feeling out process. A little bit of jitters maybe in the early goings.
Welcome to the big stage where the Nebraska volleyball team plays, the reigning national runner-ups. Basketball the focus today, Class C1 hoops. So happy you could join us. I'm Michael Shively, Alex Loroff alongside. And now the Crusaders trying to set up on offense. Hollenbeck has yet to get a touch. Here she is down low. The spin move goes for the star junior.
Hollenbeck able to spin her way around Brooke Hawsey there, who unfortunately has the task of mainly guarding Hollenbeck here today. And you just see the smooth post moves of Olivia Hollenbeck, which is what makes her so tough to stop for opposing teams.
A zone defense displayed after some full court pressure. Driving inside and wildly missing the Cadets, and it's over to the Crusaders. Allison Cordy, a 5'6" junior, brings the ball up the court.
Good job by West Point Beemer getting back in transition defensively, not allowing an easy transition bucket for Lincoln Christian. Well, they need to keep that defense shorn up here.
That's McKiley Ailes with it to the top of the key. Macy Arnold launches and hits, and a quick 5-0 lead for Lincoln Christian.
That's what you need to do on this stage. When you have those open opportunities, you need to knock those down. That's exactly what Macy Arnold just did. Huge shot there by the junior.
Arnold loves being beyond the arc. 80% of her field goal attempts are three-pointers this season. Reach-in foul whistled against Allison Cordy.
And now you're starting to see, obviously still very early in the first quarter, but you can already see just kind of the calm, cool collectiveness of this Lincoln Christian team. West Point Beemer still trying to find their way, obviously very early on. Good idea on the shot attempt, but just couldn't quite get it to go there for Sierra Kyle.
Now a scrap for the loose ball, winds up with the Cadets. They get another try. Driving inside, Swanson. The Cadets, a team that shoots 38% of their shots from beyond the arc. A guard-oriented offense. They usually run 5 out. Focus on the dribble drive.
And you can see there before Sydney Swanson looking over to the sideline at head coach Taylor Shepard, seeing what the game plan is as West Point Beemer still trying to get on the board here against this stifling Lincoln Christian defense.
No penetration on this second chance possession. A dribble drive team that hasn't been able to get it inside. There's some penetration for Kyle, who's going to Midland University next season. The turnover against Hoffman and Lincoln Christian, a chance to build to their already 5-point lead.
Pair of turnovers by both teams already in the early goings, and that defense is just so tough for Lincoln Christian, just suffocating the Cadets at this juncture.
Sloppiness in the early part of the contest. That one given away by the Blue, and our first substitute of the game, Brooklyn Weddle. When looking at the depth of each of these squads, maybe advantage Cadets. They usually play 8 players. Lincoln Christian 6, maybe 7 is all. So foul trouble could become an issue if Lincoln Christian commits any hand checks, or especially if Hollenbeck were to get in foul trouble.
But West Point Beemer needs to start finding those lanes to the basket, needs to start attacking to draw those fouls on the Crusaders, and there just has not been any room at this point. But there's a nice drive.
Offensive rebound, but stolen right away. Hollenbeck says you can't get it back up on the offensive board that easy. And then the bounce pass goes awry. Here's Cordy in open court. The lefty lay-in goes. Turnovers costing West Point Beemer the first 4 minutes of this game, and Taylor Shepard wants timeout. We'll take a short break as well. 7-0 the score on the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard.
I do love Wayne State College. It feels like home. I don't feel like I'm out of place. It's not too big, it's not too small. Campus is big enough that I'm still meeting new people. I'm still learning about new faces and names, but I'm always seeing people that I can wave and say hi to. It's the best fit for me. When I visited the campus back in my senior year of high school, this is where I knew I wanted to go right away. When I got in that car and I was driving home, I told my parents, this is where I'm going, and I don't need to look anywhere else.
Wayne State College. Get started at ExploreWayneStateCollege.com.
Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center. High school hoops on News Channel Nebraska. Cadets and Crusaders in the first game of the day at the Devaney. We have 5 more to follow, classes C1 and B today. West Point Beemer timeout. Taylor Shepard wanted to talk it over with her bunch that's led by a solid core of seniors, 4 seniors in the starting lineup.
But already halfway now through the opening quarter, and just hasn't been any sort of offensive momentum yet for West Point Beemer as Hollenbeck comes away with a huge block. The Cadets looking to finish at the other end, and they will. What a play overall by Lincoln Christian there.
The block by Hollenbeck, already her second. The rejection led to an easy 2 for Cordy, who nearly picks the pocket of Kyle. Long 3-point attempts doesn't go, and it's cleaned up by Barrett Power. Power, one of the glue players on that Crusaders team, according to head coach Nick Orduna, says the junior does some of everything and displays great leadership. And she gets the ball on the corner right now.
Power, the leading assist maker on this Lincoln Christian squad, has a couple of rebounds already in the early going.
Hollenbeck inside, can't finish that time. Hoffman's there to clean it up. Still looking for their first points. West Point Beemer, there it is! From the right wing, it goes for Sierra Kyle, and it figures it would be Kyle who breaks the ice. But Hollenbeck left alone on the other side. The full court pressure led to an easy leak out and basket for Christian.
The Cadets caught sleeping there, and Hollenbeck able to take advantage on the other end, but Kyle another triple, as now she is starting to heat up.
Kyle wanted more, and she got more. Again, the Crusaders break the full court pressure. It leads to a 3-ball, but left short. The offense is clicking midway through the first quarter. Here's Kyle again. I think wisely avoided a heat check shot. Leads to an open three from the left corner, but the air ball winds up with Lincoln Christian.
Pace starting to pick up for both teams. As you can see, the offense is starting to click, especially now for West Point Beemer. But Lincoln Christian, again, still playing with that collectiveness and still have the go-to in Hollenbeck there, but turnover by the Cadets.
Hollenbeck was looking baseline for a pass. A couple of Cadets got their arms on it. Great crowd for the early session. Kyle wants another three. Missed that time. Sierra Kyle, a 34% three-point shooter. After her two makes earlier, she's hit 48 threes this season. What an addition to that West Point Beemer squad. A transfer, Sierra Kyle. Played the last 3 seasons at Conestoga. Her junior year, put up 19 a game for Conestoga. That's a coup for Coach Taylor Shepard in her first season.
And you can see already today the dividends that is paid to have Kyle on this team, and it has been paid all season long as well. They need her to keep going here today.
The hesitation drive from Macy Arnold doesn't lead to points. The Cadets pull it back to run their half-court offense, which Coach Shepard says is their strength. Kyle, not this time. The putback rejected by Hollenbeck. She has 3 blocks already. Olivia Hollenbeck, 6'4" junior center.
Andrea Hoffman pulled down the offensive board, but again, just not much you can do when you have the 6'4" Hollenbeck there in the lane. Hoffman tried to make her best put-back attempt as she could there, but another block by Hollenbeck.
Down low, and Power able to will it into the basket. The lead back up to 7 for Lincoln Christian.
West Point Beemer needs to be careful now. They need to start getting some open looks, need to start getting to the hoop, but it's been easier said than done here today as Lincoln Christian still on this roll in this opening quarter.
They'll reset. Sydney Swanson has yet to get on the board. In fact, anybody besides Sierra Kyle has yet to score for West Point Beemer. So they go to Kyle, who throws it up with 1 second left. It's off the back rim and out, and the Crusaders pumped up as they head to the huddle after the first quarter. The score on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard, Lincoln Christian 13, West Point Beemer 6.
Anderson of Grand Island, we make it easy. Whether you're looking for a new or used car, parts, service, or collision repair, Anderson Auto Group in Grand Island has you covered. Proud to support the home team and all the local athletes. Best of luck this season. We're proud to be Nebraska's volume dealer with the hometown service you expect.
Rejuvenate your outdoor living space this season with new 2019 patio furniture from Fireplace Stone & Patio. With an array of styles, colors, and sizes, you can find the perfect fit in our showroom. Add a customizable fire pit to your patio set and create the ultimate outdoor space for entertaining. With our stylish patio furniture and fire pits, we can design a space you'll enjoy for years to come. Now's the time to plan ahead. Visit Fireplace Stone & Patio for all your outdoor living needs.
Michael Shively and Alex Loroff, joined by Chris Williams sideline. We'll hear from him at halftime. Right now we start the second quarter, and the West Point Beemer Cadets looking for offense. That's a tough way to find it. A slip leads to a jump ball, and another giveaway by West Point Beemer.
Just unfortunate there for Sydney Swanson. Lost her footing as she was trying to get the second quarter off to a more positive start for the Cadets, but another turnover by West Point Beemer. That is their 5th of the contest to this point.
A team that averages just 12 turnovers per game. Trying to force one of their own. Good denial defense. Leads to an out-of-bounds play for Lincoln Christian.
That's what you like to see by the Cadets, those active hands defensively, trying to get the ball away from Olivia Hollenbeck. And easier said than done, as Hollenbeck able to draw the contact there on that drive.
I believe it's Darian Repschlager wearing number 14. Listed as 15. Oh, no, 15's out there as well. No 14 listed on the West Point Beemer roster, but getting some minutes down low. The free throw goes for Olivia Hollenbeck, and she's up to 5 points. A star junior who scored as much as 32 in a game this season. Breakout season for her, putting up over 16 per contest and sinks each of the free throws.
That's very dangerous, the fact that she is a junior, Michael, and is already playing so well here this season, and she still has another year to continue to develop for Lincoln Christian. That's very dangerous for any opponents that the Crusaders will face in the near future.
So Hollenbeck, a junior. In fact, nobody a senior on that Crusaders lineup. An off-ball screen leads to a 3 attempt. It doesn't go, and the fight for the rebound is another tie-up, and it stays with West Point Beemer. They're rewarded for the hustle with another possession. Again, Swanson unable to hit, pardon me, Alex. Swanson unable to hit from 3. She has yet to get going. No points for Swanson, who averages 14.5 per contest, a 40% three-point shooter, but hasn't hit from long range.
And really, nobody has besides Sierra Kyle is what I was going to say, Michael. Just there is no cohesion at this point yet for West Point Beemer offensively. Have not been able to get anything going, but that will certainly help starting to drive, starting to draw fouls, especially against Olivia Hollenbeck, who I believe that one will be on.
It is, in fact, on Hollenbeck, her first foul, the Crusaders' second team foul. So to the line heads Darian Repschlager, 5'6" senior. Hits the first. Well, Alex, it's an early deficit for West Point Beemer, but this is something they're used to, as West Point Beemer fell down 18-2 against O'Neill in the district final, ended up winning that game, went on a huge run. Repschlager hits the pair. They were down 18-2 and outscored the Eagles 51-25 after that point to make it to the state tournament. Lincoln Christian in transition. Hollenbeck's putback's good.
Yeah, speaking on that run in the district final by West Point Beemer, it was great tenacity and really toughness shown by the cadets in that game to be able to come from behind, get the win over O'Neill, and get here to the state tournament. But again, it's one thing to get here, and it's another thing to compete here at state. And at this point, West Point Beemer has just not been able to get anything going offensively. And once again, you saw it there, the runner just not going, really not much falling for the cadets.
They'll need some of that magic they had at Norfolk High School last week. Cordy for 3 at the top of the key. Her teammate Hollenbeck there to pick up the miss. The putback doesn't go.
Back-to-back offensive possessions with offensive rebounds for Olivia Hollenbeck. That time, though, West Point Beemer fortunate that Hollenbeck not able to finish on the putback. So another opportunity here for the cadets to still try chip away at this 9-point deficit they are facing, approaching about 5.5 left in the second quarter.
Cordy gets her hand on another pass and gets the steal. Allison Cordy in transition against Kyle. Faced. Sierra Kyle sends that one back and leads transition the other way. But it's thrown right to Macy Arnold. And fast break offense. Not able to yield points for either team.
And that was a huge block by Sierra Kyle to turn away what would have been an easy basket for Allison Cordy. But again, West Point Beemer not able to finish on the other end.
Hollenbeck misses. A 60% field goal shooter on the year. Few straight misses. Another steal. Power can't convert. Turnovers not leading to points for Christian at the start of the second quarter.
And a little bit of sloppy play, too, in the last couple of moments by both teams, as they both still try to find that rhythm. 17-8, very low scoring for both of these squads at this juncture. Very good offensively all season long, nearly 50 points per game for both teams.
Swanson gets her first basket of the contest. Again on an offensive rebound. Crashing the offensive glass. That was one of our 5 points of impact. And that time it led to Swanson's first basket.
And that's another player that West Point Beemer needs to start getting fired up is Sydney Swanson. Again, we talked about the 1-2 punch of Sydney Swanson and Sierra Kyle that West Point Beemer has utilized to great success this season. They need both of those players to start hitting their shots. Great job by Swanson there, and then a great job defensively by the cadets forcing that turnover.
Hoffman able to pick the pocket. Now the cadets get to set up. The long 2 goes for Andrea Hoffman. And it's down to a 5-point game on the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard. Christian able to break the full court pressure once again, and the three-pointer goes. McKiley Ailes gets her first basket of the game and builds the lead back up.
What a confident shot there by McKiley Ailes, just driving down the court, pulling up for the triple and knocking it down for Lincoln Christian. Ailes averaging just under 10 points per game, a great second option for the Crusaders.
Kyle's shot misses. And Nick Orduna wants timeout. We'll take a break as well on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. Lincoln Christian 20, West Point Beemer 12.
I think it's very important for patients to have access to great health care, but on top of it, be close to home. Specifically with my cancer patients, they go through a lot. That diagnosis is very overwhelming in itself and has an impact not only on them, but on their families as well.
And I also think it's important that the quality of care they're receiving is equal to what they would receive at a larger institution. So I think it's incredible that we can provide that for them right here.
I think that the expansion is necessary for the community because the hospital is very forward-thinking and they're trying to expand to different specialties.
Dr. Norris and I are fairly new, but we've already become very busy and we're kind of limited by the constraints of our space that we have currently.
As they add more people, of course we need more room to accommodate that, and we want every patient to experience the best care. Strong faith,
healthy future.
Nick Orduna on the sideline in his 10th season. That's not what he diagrammed out of the timeout. Just took the first timeout, did the Crusaders, and Nick Orduna's team promptly throws it out of bounds. 10th season at the helm and 20 seasons as a coach, all of them with that Lincoln Christian program. He himself played there, eventually had a successful career as a point guard at Nebraska Wesleyan. Open three from the right corner. Comes up way short, and there's Barrett Power for the rebound.
And Nick Orduna leading this Lincoln Christian squad to a state title back in 2017, just a couple of years ago. Last year, the Crusaders winning in the third place game of the C1 state tournament. Obviously, Coach Orduna trying to lead this team back to the state championship game on Saturday, and they're looking very good at this point here with a nice 8-point lead over West Point Beemer.
Three-pointer, banks home. Macy Arnold able to hit, and this Lincoln Christian team rolling in the first half. They get the bank to go in.
Macy Arnold averaging 5 points per game. Another one of those great second or third options on this Crusaders team. And again, you can just see the confidence in this Crusaders squad. When they have those open looks, they're going to fire them, and they've been knocking them down more often than not today.
Swanson from long range. Rebound ends up with Power. And you might have noticed there, Lincoln Christian comes out of the timeout in a man-to-man defense. They were working a 2-3 zone to start the game. So Nick Orduna swapping things up to keep West Point Beemer guessing.
Interesting call by Coach Orduna, as that zone defense was very effective in the early goings, especially in that first quarter. But still to this point, West Point Beemer has been turned away at all juncture for the most part by this Lincoln Christian defense.
The foul goes against Abby Dale, a 5'3" junior guard. One of the top bench players for West Point Beemer. Lincoln Christian making a couple subs. Hollenbeck back on the court. The inbounds play, wide open. And the basket for Arnold. She's up to 8 points, her and Hollenbeck each.
And again, that's a huge advantage Lincoln Christian has, is in the size. Even with Hollenbeck on the bench, you still have, actually with Hollenbeck out there, you still have the 6-foot Arnold there in the post as such a threat for Lincoln Christian.
Miss on the three by Swanson, but another possession for West Point Beemer, and it's back to a zone defense. They're keeping West Point Beemer guessing, and so far the guesses have been wrong for the Cadets. Into the lane, Swanson. Blocked twice. You cannot bring it in against Olivia Hollenbeck. She says no thank you 2 times. The tie-up will keep it, or rather turn it over to Lincoln Christian. What a defensive effort by Olivia Hollenbeck.
And back-to-back blocks. Olivia Hollenbeck is done such an incredible job defensively, just not allowing anyone to get inside for the West Point Beemer Cadets all game long.
They get it inside to Hollenbeck. It rattles out. She wasn't able to get it on each end, so Swanson back up the court. West Point Beemer scores 54 per game, up to 14 after that lay-in by Kyle, her first 2-point basket.
It was a great move by Sierra Kyle, able to get around Olivia Hollenbeck, and smart by Hollenbeck, not wanting to get her second foul, but then in transition, great ball movement by Lincoln Christian, finding Hollenbeck there and getting it to go off the glass.
Alex, one of the strengths of this Cadets team is their full court pressure, but it has not faced Lincoln Christian. If anything, it's been an advantage for the Crusaders, who have earned many open looks against that full court press.
They've done a fantastic job of getting out behind that press throughout this first half, have Lincoln Christian. And you said it, Michael, it's almost has been a detriment to West Point Beemer being so focused on that front court and not seeing the players that get behind, and then great ball move by Lincoln Christian to finish on those opportunities.
3-ball up for Hoffman. Doesn't go. Kyle with the putback, too high off of the window. And Cordy leading another fast break, as she's done plenty in the first half.
Opportunity now for Lincoln Christian to maybe hold for the final shot of this second quarter.
Cordy to the rack, and it goes. Allison Cordy with 6, and Lincoln Christian a tremendous first half. Half-court heave for Kyle doesn't go, and the Lincoln Christian Crusaders own the first 16 minutes. They lead 29-14 on the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard. This presentation of high school hoops is brought to you by Wayne State College. When we come back on NCN, we'll have your halftime report from the Bob Devaney Sports Center.
Taking control of your grain marketing means having enough storage on your farm to maximize profits. Have you considered adding storage to your operation? Talk to the pros at D&K Agri-Sales, your Sukup dealer in Plymouth, about the options you have to make your grain handling more effective and more profitable. If grain storage or grain handling is a problem, D&K Agri-Sales is the solution. Bins, legs, towers, conveyors, elevators, dryers, augers, parts, and maintenance. Call D&K Agri-Sales, your Sukup dealer, for your grain marketing solutions today. Online at dnkagrisales.com.
Have you ever wondered what's behind the doors of Valley Vet Fashion Direct in Marysville? See, this isn't just a vet supply store. They carry a large selection of all kinds of boots, work, fashion, or casual, for all ages. Make sure you check out the sales selection to steal a deal. Perfect your look with their variety of jeans, shirts, and accessories. And if you can't find your size in the store, chances are they have it in their huge warehouse. Valley Vet Fashion Direct on Highway 36 in Marysville, open 7 days a week.
5 Points Bank's new Lincoln branch is located at 30th and Yankee Hill. We invite you to bank with the Better Bank. 5 Points Bank provides the best in banking products and services, with the state's leading bank technology making your banking better. 5 Points Bank is committed to providing the best lending for all your banking needs, from personal to commercial lending, helping you or your business grow.
I'm Mike Anderson of Anderson Ford of Lincoln, and we've banked with 5 Points Bank now for over 30 years. They've really helped us grow here in Lincoln. 5 Points Bank is the better bank.
Head trauma and concussion risk minimization is a priority of the NSAA. When in doubt, sit them out.
Some common symptoms of concussions are dizziness, confusion, and nausea.
The NSAA requires coaches in all sports to take a concussion course annually.
For more information regarding concussion management and return to play protocol, visit our website, nsaahome.org. When in doubt, sit them out.
At Columbus Motor Company, they're proud to be the first car dealer to bring the best price philosophy to Columbus. Columbus Motor Company has always believed that when buying a new vehicle, the customer shopping experience should come first. No hype, no gimmicks, just consistent quality service every time you shop. And don't forget, Columbus Motor Company is the only dealership that offers a 5-day, 30-day policy. Stop by for the President's Day sales event going on now, or shop online at columbusmotorcompanyne.com. Columbus Motor Company, one low price, plain and simple, always.
I love working at USAVE because I really like working in a small town. I get a sense of community and I get to help the customers every day.
You get the brand recognition, but most of the USAVEs are independently owned, so you have a small town pharmacy environment where you do know your patients.
We take pride in serving our community.
I hope they know that we are trying our very best to deliver the best customer service
at a fair and good price as well.
Trust your local U-Save pharmacy, part of the Health Mart family of pharmacies.
Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Michael Shively, Alex Loroff with you. The score at halftime on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard: Lincoln Christian 29, West Point Beemer 14. Let's head down to the sideline. Here's Chris Williams with Athletic Director for West Point Beemer, Jeff Konkoleski.
Jeff Konkoleski, right next to me, the Athletic Director for West Point Beemer. So on January 29th, the first girls wrestling duel in state history happened. How significant was that?
Oh, that was huge, not only for our program here at West Point, but also statewide. It's a thing that we kind of were talking with Platteview about it, kind of had the numbers on both sides for both schools, got it all set up, and our girls were really excited about taking part in that historic moment.
So having that first duel out there, how does that open up the doors for future duels and future teams?
Well, I think girls wrestling has expanded so much in the past year that it just allows more girls, more opportunities and so forth. I know in eastern part of Nebraska, we got a lot of tournaments we got into. Ours at West Point itself. It's just a great opportunity to get girls on the wrestling mat, away from the boys side of the aspect. And again, I think it'll just basically open up a big thing for the girls.
And so at West Point Beemer, you guys have the biggest program in the state for girls wrestling, around 22 girls, yep. I think is what I read. How were you able to build that up when there wasn't really an infrastructure yet?
You know, 2 years ago, when we first built around the idea, we had about 12 to 15 girls. Had a good, successful season that first time. Trying to find tournaments was hard, but the girls really enjoyed it, found some success. This year we had 24 girls out, and they did a lot of AAU stuff after the postseason. And again, just more and more girls come out. They like to go on the mat, sit there made up, and it just basically keeps building from there.
And it seems like the goal right now is to have the NSAA sanction it and get a girls' state championship. Do you think that you need to get more participation before they do that, or do you think them doing that will get the participation?
No, I think with the past 2 years, the increase in girls wrestling in the high school, that's done a lot, and I think the NSAA is going to get the same sanction this April, and I think it'll come up to the committee to figure out championships and that stuff. It'll probably open up more doors for more girls across the state.
And is it reasonable to expect that to happen next year?
Oh, I think so.
Okay, and then one last thing. Your cadets are down 15 right now. How nervous are you?
Well, we're kind of a slow starting team, so we got a whole half to play, so we'll see what we can do.
All right, well, we're excited to see how it goes. Let's go back up to the booth with Alex and Michael.
Well, thank you, Chris. An insightful interview with Athletic Director Jeff Konkoleski about the growing sport of girls wrestling. It was awesome, Alex, to see that on Twitter, that the first ever all-girls duel occurred at West Point against Platteview, and the cadets, the Lady Cadets wrestling team, they came out on top.
It's great to see just kind of the continued growth of plenty of different sports that are going on throughout the state of Nebraska, and just a great look inside what maybe one of these smaller communities, one of these smaller teams like West Point Beemer, what they are doing over there, the great things that they're accomplishing at that school. So great to hear about that from Athletic Director Jeff Konkoleski.
Looking at your halftime stats, leading the Lincoln Christian Crusaders, it's Olivia Hollenbeck with 10 points, 8 for Macy Arnold, 6 for Allison Cordy, 3 for McKiley Ailes, and 2 for Barrett Power. Everyone in the starting lineup on the scoreboard for Lincoln Christian. On West Point Beamer's side, Sierra Kyle has 8 points, Andrea Hoffman 2, Sydney Swanson 2, and Darian Repschlager 1. So fewer points on the West Point Beamer side. They've only scored 14, really got off to a slow start with just 6 in the first half. What is Coach Taylor Shepard telling her team at halftime to get them ready to face Lincoln Christian for 16 more minutes?
Michael, I think one of the biggest things is going to be just taking care of the basketball. 9 first half turnovers by West Point Beemer, which more often than not led to transition buckets, easy looks at the other end for Lincoln Christian. Specifically, Allison Cordy had a couple of steals and finishes coast to coast at the other end. So for the cadets, they need to take care of the basketball in the second half and just find some way around this Lincoln Christian defense. Credit to Coach Orduna. We've talked about it, Michael. He's done a good job of switching up that defensive scheme, going from the zone to the man-to-man, almost in seamless transitions, and West Point Beemer has just been kept off their game the entire way. So the cadets need to start continuing getting the ball to Sierra Kyle, Sydney Swanson, getting them involved, getting those open looks, and trying to find some sort of lane to attack the basket and draw those fouls and try to get at least Olivia Hollenbeck and maybe some other players into foul trouble, get to the line, start chipping away at this 15-point lead.
Meanwhile, for Lincoln Christian, so far so good. This team was just 11-8 midway through the season. They've won 6 straight, and they're showing why today. What have you liked from this Lincoln Christian approach?
I think for Lincoln Christian, it's the obvious thing, and we've talked about it here today, but just the play of Olivia Hollenbeck, seeing her in person here today. It's one thing to look at the numbers that a player is putting up throughout the season, but to come here and see how the junior has performed here so far in this first half. She's crashing the glass. She's getting it done defensively with the blocks. She's getting the ball down low, has very nice post play to make contact, get around the contact, get to the basket, get those shots to go. So Olivia Hollenbeck has really impressed me here today. And again, just for such a young team with no seniors on this squad to already be this comfortable on this sort of stage, you can see that they are running their offensive and defensive game plans to perfection, and they show no signs of letting up in the second half. So we'll see if Lincoln Christian can keep that going and if West Point Beemer can make just some sort of adjustments to get this one back into the swing of things.
Right now, Lincoln Christian more than doubling up West Point Beemer. The score at halftime, Lincoln Christian 29, West Point Beemer 14 on the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we have second half action on News Channel Nebraska.
Our goal here at Faith Regional is to be the regional referral center, and in fact, only 25% of the patients that we see in our clinic in gastroenterology, they are coming from Norfolk, with the other 75% of patients, they are coming from the surrounding area. So this is our mission, is to be the referral center for Northeast Nebraska. I totally agree that this is time for us to expand to a medical offices building that is convenient for patients, where they will be able to have all subspecialties available for them in the same building. At the same time, we will be able to have the surgery center there and lab, so it will be very convenient for patients to have everything done in the same building. And I do think their practice will just get busier. Strong faith, healthy future.
It's more than an education, it's more than a career. It's our future, and building a better Nebraska starts with supporting a strong university. One Nebraska Coalition's goal is for Nebraskans to recognize the importance of the university system and ensuring that it has the resources to remain excellent and affordable. The University of Nebraska is playing a role in production agriculture, rural health care, and youth development to improve the lives of Nebraskans. You can help keep the University of Nebraska strong. Log on to one-nebraska.org today and join the One Nebraska Coalition.
Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center. A 15-point lead for Lincoln Christian as we get ready for the second half. A big reason why is Lincoln Christian's defense, led by Olivia Hollenbeck down low. Let's take a look at your J-Tech Construction Defensive Play of the Game. That's brought to you by J-Tech Construction. Olivia Hollenbeck nearing 5 blocks already in this game, and 2 of them, boom, boom, led to a jump ball, and Lincoln Christian got the tie-up and the possession arrow.
Again, just not much you can do against Olivia Hollenbeck. The 6'4 junior is protecting the house here today at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, not allowing any clean looks at the basket for West Point Beemer. They need to find a way to neutralize the effect that Hollenbeck is having on this game as they begin quarter number 3, down by 15 here.
West Point Beemer will have the basketball to start, and they need to get going quickly. Just 14 points in the first half. They've been limited by the switching defense of Lincoln Christian, who's played both man and zone. Typically a team that does mostly man-to-man, but it's been the zone defense that has baffled West Point Beemer.
And especially here today, with it being so successful, it's interesting to see Coach Orduna switch back and forth between the two defensive schemes. But hey, whatever is working is just going to continue working here today, as they've held West Point Beemer, you said, Michael, 14 points, a team that averages 54 points per game.
There's Sierra Kyle. That time the block credited to Allison Cordy, all 5'6" of her.
able to get up and recover after jumping into the passing lane, missed the steal, came back and was able to get the swat.
Great play by Allison Cordy, as then a foul following up there by West Point Beemer. A very clean, speaking of the fouls, very clean first half by both teams. Not a lot of foul trouble at this moment. But again, West Point Beemer just has not found that rhythm that Lincoln Christian has had really throughout this one at this point.
Travel whistled against Barrett Power, bringing the ball up the court. And one of the rare times we've seen Lincoln Christian struggle against the full court press.
Bit of a mental miscue there by Barrett Power. We'll see if the Cadets can use that to try and jumpstart something here. They need something positive to go their way to fire up their fans who have made the trip to Lincoln to support their squad.
A 23-2 season up to this point. This undersized starting lineup trying to decipher the defense of Lincoln Christian.
Again, this is a West Point Beemer team who knows how to win, but a turnover there by the Cadets. But they began the year at 10-0 before suffering their first loss of the year, but did suffer a loss in the sub-district final. Made it here as a wild card team, but still out of sorts right now.
Timeout called by Taylor Shepard. She wants to talk about the start to the second half. It's still a 15-point lead for Lincoln Christian on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard.
When it comes to crop insurance, what matters to you? Experience, timeliness after a claim, accurate estimates on crop loss? Midwest Bank Agency agents Josh Gossman and Michael Keister can provide those services to your farming operation. If it is time to consider a new crop insurance option, call Midwest Bank Agency or check them out at MidwestBank.com today. Midwest Bank Agency, part of Midwest Bank, where service builds relationships.
Well, there's the Lincoln Christian student section out in force today. I think that's everybody in the student body, and they all must have some neon because that is a blinding student section over there.
It's always great to see this time of year, obviously state tournament being the biggest game of the season, but to see the support from pretty much your entire school, as you said, Michael, all coming out and cheering on their Crusaders here today. Just a great atmosphere here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, and only our first game of the day.
All the Crusader fans used to being here. 4 straight semifinal appearances. They've made it to state 9 of the last 10 years. Three-pointer, Allison Cordy. Have yourself a game, Allison. She's up to 9 points, not counting her outstanding defense.
Cordy with a huge shot there. Actually, that goes as a long two. I think one of her feet were on the line. But still a great shot by Cordy. And then another miss by West Point Beemer. Rebound by Power. Lincoln Christian just in complete control right now.
This West Point Beemer team going to need to get stops in addition to the points to get back in this one. And at least that's something they're comfortable with. A long three by Power is batted out of bounds by West Point Beemer after Hollenbeck affected that rebound. But West Point Beemer, one of the best defensive teams in Class C1. They only allow 34 points per game. Lincoln Christian almost to that point, but West Point Beemer has held 4 opponents under 20 points in a game this season. They need to buckle down to get back into this game. Easier said than done against Olivia Hollenbeck, but that time Sierra Kyle able to get the deflection and get the ball out of bounds in favor of West Point Beemer.
And that just goes to show just how good of an offensive team Lincoln Christian is against what has normally been a very strong defensive unit in West Point Beemer. But already today, Lincoln Christian right about at the point that West Point Beemer allows to their opponents this season. They've been knocking down their shots, and the Cadets just have not had any sort of clean looks at the basket for the most part here today.
Defense collapses. The 2 doesn't go for West Point Beemer, and their shooting struggles continue. No points in the first 3 minutes of the half.
And again, they went almost halfway through the first quarter. In fact, over halfway through the first quarter with no points. So a bit of the same here to start the third for the Cadets.
They have been able to crack down on Olivia Hollenbeck. Has yet to score this quarter. The only points this half coming from Allison Cordy. The Cadets more hustle to get another try.
Great job there by Andrea Hoffman, ripping the ball away from Macy Arnold. Give a second chance opportunity, and it pays off for West Point Beemer.
Rachel Groth drills it from the corner, an enormous basket for West Point Beemer to get them on the board this half. Our Crusaders hit the deck and a jump ball whistle. Finally, the red and gray fans have something to clap about.
That was a huge shot by the sophomore Rachel Groth, one of the youngest players on this West Point Beemer team, making those minutes count, having the space and just draining it. But West Point Beemer needs more of the same, still down by 14.
Groth, just a 15% three-point shooter coming into this game, confidently hit that one. Good dish and a foul. To the line heads Lincoln Christian.
Great pass there from Olivia Hollenbeck, going around the horn, finding Macy Arnold. Arnold able to draw the contact, but again, just another example of Hollenbeck being able to do a little bit of everything, whether it be facilitating on the defensive end, on the offensive end. She can really do it all for Lincoln Christian.
She's seen her share of double teams, so knows what to do when she sees it coming. This time found her teammates who can't hit either free throw, and they come up empty. Seldom have we seen West Point Beemer score on back-to-back possessions. They get an open look. It's passed up, and Groth wide open. Missed the layup. And that's been the Cadets' day.
Rachel Groth had a great look at the basket there after the pass from Sierra Kyle, but Groth just couldn't quite finish it. You said it, Michael, that's just been the way things have been going. Just things have not been going the way of West Point Beemer here today, as the Cadet fans wanted to travel on that last play.
Two misses by Power. Her third try doesn't go. She still has the basketball and draws a foul. How about the hustle from Barrett Power? The 5'8 junior, 4 tries, the fourth time rewarded with the whistle.
Barrett Power has done a fantastic job crashing the glass all game long. You'll see it here on the replay. Just kept getting the ball in her hands, and the tenacity shown by the junior
rebounds.
Power. Unbelievable, Michael. Just a great individual effort by Barrett Power.
Someone get a body on Barrett Power. That's what Taylor Shepard's screaming from the other side of the court. Here's Cordy. She's been dynamic. Elects to set up the offense with Lincoln Christian ahead by 14. Open three for Arnold. A little short. Another offensive board and another foul. Is that Power again?
I believe it was.
She needs to be wearing a different color jersey for the Cadets to get a body on her. They can't find Barrett Power.
The 5'8 Barrett Power, almost looking like Olivia Hollenbeck out there, the way that she's been able to crash the glass, pull down those rebounds almost with ease. As we get another look here. Great positioning, getting the offensive board, drawing the foul on the putback. Just a great last couple of moments here for Barrett Power.
And she hits the pair. Swanson even had her boxed out there. It didn't stop Power from getting the offensive glass. 5 offensive rebounds by the same player in one possession. I don't know if I've seen that before.
That's pretty crazy when you think about it.
And a foul called. Must have got some arm. 2 blue jerseys collapsing on the driving Swanson. They might get Power this time. They do. Power's first foul.
By my count, Barrett Power quickly approaching 10 boards on the day. And we talked about it in the pregame for our 5 points of impact. We talked about it for West Point Beemer, but Lincoln Christian has been the team who has really been attacking the offensive and defensive glass to great effect here so far.
The friendly roll for Swanson, who is up to 4 points. Maybe seeing it go through the net can get her going. The leading scorer, a 5'7 sophomore for West Point Beemer. And a steal out of the full court pressure. Kyle. She's hand-checked by Arnold at the three-point line. Foul number 2 on Lincoln Christian is all this half.
Good foul there by Macy Arnold, not allowing Sierra Kyle, who, if she would have gotten by Arnold, had a pretty clear lane to the hoop, but Arnold instead with the foul and stopping the momentum of West Point Beemer after forcing that turnover.
Swanson from the wing for 3. The ball rotation from Cadets from the left to the right side led to that open look. Now Christian in transition with the answer. It spins out. Hollenbeck Put back. No, it's a jump ball. Both sides erupting after that whistle. Applause from West Point Beemer, and I don't know what was coming from Lincoln Christian's side.
Maybe a little bit of frustration there with that call, but now you're starting to see the momentum maybe shifting in the corner of West Point Beemer. They've hit a couple of shots now, have caused a couple of turnovers. The Cadets now starting to find that rhythm, starting to find that fight here against Lincoln Christian.
Hollenbeck, nearly an and one. Instead, it's a turnover. What a change that is. Could have been a 3-point swing. There's Swanson. Long three for Kyle. Nothing but nets from way downtown. West Point Beemer starting to feel it. It's down to an 8-point lead for Christian, but Allison Cordy says enough of that and stops the run. It leads to an Orduna timeout.
What a drive there by Allison Cordy, just immediately putting the gas on after that three by West Point Beemer. Pedal to the metal, you see it here on the replay. Coast to coast goes Allison Cordy with the finish to try and stifle that West Point Beemer momentum they were beginning to build.
Well, this game brought to you in part by Wayne State College, a proud sponsor of high school athletics in the state of Nebraska, and we're proud to bring you high school hoops. This is the first time we've had live television coverage of quarterfinal and semifinal basketball. We're just getting started all day at the Devaney Center. Friday, spending the entire day at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Not a bad way to spend the day. And we're back next week for the boys tournament as well. It's going to be a fun couple weeks for us, Alex.
Just unprecedented coverage for you watching at home. 2 weeks of basketball, of great basketball action, Michael, and we've already seen it here today. The fight of West Point Beamers. They have battled their way back, down by as many as 15, have cut the lead to 10, but still work to do, and that turnover will not help things for the Cadets.
It's been the defense for Lincoln Christian. If they hold on to this one, they'll look back and say it was our defensive effort that secured a first-round W. Looking inside to Hollenbeck. She was able to get the defender on her back and easily throw it in. Her first basket of the half.
Hollenbeck able to get around Brooke Hawsey there, who was in initially really good defensive positioning, but Hollenbeck just able to slip behind Hawsey there, and a great pass down low to the junior. Hollenbeck getting it to go to continue adding to this Crusader lead.
Hoffman was looking for room. Kyle's hit a few from that distance, elects to drive this time. Felt herself open at the bottom of your screen. Gets it back and launches once more. Too strong, the putback, it goes for Andrea Hoffman.
Great positioning on the offensive board, and the putback, nearly thought it was maybe a bit too high on that shot, but Hoffman able to get it to go, and then the Cadets forcing a turnover.
Swanson on the deflection. We've seen Lincoln Christian execute their full court press break with plenty of success. That time, not the case. Swanson, right side against Hollenbeck, sidesteps her, but can't finish, and the time expires. But first, a jump ball. Will they put time back on the clock? The official near the West Point Beemer bench came over and said, jump ball before time expired. They will put fractions of a second, most likely, back on the clock for Lincoln Christian.
Very much a bang-bang play there right as the third quarter came to an end. All zeros on the clock at the moment is they haven't put any time yet. 0.6 is going to be put on the clock, so really not even enough time for a catch and shoot for Lincoln Christian.
I think that was the right call on the jump ball, and I think it did happen before the buzzer sounded. Sometimes you'll see the officials just wave it off and say it's a wash, but here at the state tournament, I like what they're doing. Do it the right way. This will not cost Lincoln Christian a possession, as they have the possession arrow to start the fourth quarter. But everyone will huddle back up. The score on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard at Lincoln Christian 37, West Point Beemer 27. A 13-point quarter for West Point Beemer, who scored only 14 points in the first half. They've been able to fight their way back into it.
Yeah, just a great quarter by the Cadets. Again, you're starting to see that confidence build for West Point Beemer. We talked about it in the first half. That's what they needed to do, was start hitting some shots, getting that rhythm, getting some confidence in themselves. It's tough with this being your first ever trip to state. You don't know what this atmosphere is going to be like, in West Point Beemer maybe caught sleeping in that first half, but now they're starting to find their game.
Do they have enough time left for a comeback? Down 10. 0.6 of a second left. Lincoln Christian will likely just take this to the fourth quarter. And that's what they'll do. A 10-point lead for the Crusaders. 8 minutes until they can advance to the semifinal. The final quarter next on NCN.
Norfolk Auto Center is now offering a lifetime powertrain warranty when you purchase a new Chevy, Buick, or GMC. This warranty covers the basic powertrain like engine, transmission, transfer case, all-wheel drive assembly, and drivetrain assembly. Unlimited time, unlimited mileage at no cost to you. Just one more reason to buy your next new vehicle at Norfolk Auto Center, Northeast Nebraska's volume leader. Visit them on the West Highway 275 bypass or online at norfolkchevy.com. Norfolk Auto Center, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
College can be a big expense, but Wayne State makes it easier. As a first-generation student, looking at different colleges, you have to look at the price tag. Wayne State really offers you that affordability, but at the same time, Wayne State education is really sought after by employers across the state. So it's a really great chance to get a great degree, but still come out of it with little to no debt.
Wayne State College. Get started at explorewayneStateCollege.com.
We're back here at the Bob Devaney Sports Center, and the Cadets fans say shoot for gold. That's the dream of every player right now. And across the tournament, everybody's still in play. The first game, and we're at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. 6 games on NCN today, classes C1 and B. Right now, a 10-point advantage for Lincoln Christian. West Point Beemer needs a huge quarter to make it to the second round. They get the basketball to start.
A little bit of March Madness on News Channel Nebraska for you. A little bit early with the day before March begins, the next couple of weeks.
Out of bounds will stay with West Point Beemer. A shot fake for Swanson, but she couldn't get the shot to go. Swanson's been held to just 4 points. The sophomore scored 30 earlier this season against Logan View. Scribner-Siner had 17 in the last game in the district final against O'Neill, but only 4 points on 1 field goal today.
Again, that's just the credit to the Lincoln Christian defense, how strong they have been here today as a travel there. Abby Dale losing her footing there, losing the plant foot. But you talked about it earlier, Michael. I think the takeaway for Lincoln Christian will be the strong defensive play here today if they come away with the win. There's a nice turnover there, though, by West Point Beemer.
What a steal by Hazy, but it's given right back to Lincoln Christian, and a foul committed in the backcourt. Perfect execution on the trap by the Cadets, using the baseline to their advantage, and Macy Arnold had nowhere to go with it, but then West Point Beemer handed it right back.
You can really see West Point Beemer starting to clamp down now with this full court pressure, but Cordy doing a great job of breaking it there.
And she lost her pivot foot as well on a strong take down the left side. She's a sprinter, Alex. I think you can tell that streaking down the court, a phenomenal athlete, but that time a little too quick, lost her footing and another travel.
Absolutely. We've seen a couple of examples of it already today. When Cordy turns on the Jets, there's not many players who can go stride for stride with the junior Allison Cordy.
Long 3 ball. Offensive rebound, and the putback's there. Swanson going to the glass to get back on the scoreboard.
Great job crashing the offensive board by Sydney Swanson, who's still looking to get herself going, and that will definitely help as she cuts the lead back down to single digits. West Point Beemer still with time to get back into this one. Only 6.5 left to go in the fourth quarter here.
An 8-point deficit equals their lowest deficit of the half. Inside to Hollenbeck, who finishes, and that's what Christian wants to do when they need a basket, go down low.
Exactly. That is the X factor for the Crusaders, is Olivia Hollenbeck. Gets the pass inside and once again finishes off the glass.
West Point Beemer needs the answer. The shot rattles out, and there's Hollenbeck. Cordy wisely pulls that back to run some clock. tapped out of bounds. That defense has ramped up a notch. Getting her hands in there that time, Abby Dale. West Point Beemer gashed on their full court press in the first half. In their full court and half court pressure, it's been more effective in the second.
Absolutely, and Abby Dale there continuing to stay aggressive for the Cadets, not allowing that ball to get away from her before it just rolled into the scorer's table. Dale with some great tenacity shown there, but couldn't quite come away with the steal.
2 Cadets hit the court. Christian doesn't attack it. Instead, get it inside to Hollenbeck, who towers over everybody on the Cadets roster and easily tosses it in. She's up to 16 and has scored 4 straight, 4 inches taller than anybody on West Point Beamer's roster.
You can see even there against the double team, Hollenbeck, you said it perfectly, Michael, just towering over this West Point Beamer team. And now she's starting to heat up after a bit of a quiet third quarter.
Gets the block. She's over 5 on the game there. We gave her the J-Tech Construction Defensive Play of the Game for a double block in the first half and a big rejection there as it's back to a double-digit lead, and Lincoln Christian can run that clock as much as they want.
Yes, time very much on the side of Lincoln Christian here. West Point Beamer needs to start getting a little more aggressive defensively, try and force some turnovers, get quick baskets in transition. Can't allow Lincoln Christian just to keep passing the ball around and milk this clock.
Inside to Hollenbeck again, off of the window this time. 6 straight for the star junior, and Christian back out comfortably in front.
Hollenbeck looking to close this one down as she is absolutely feeling it now, scoring 6 straight points, as you said, Michael. And again, she is such a great weapon to have if you are Lincoln Christian.
Now West Point Beamer intimidated by Hollenbeck's size down low. They kick it back out, needing a quick hoop. Where does it come from? Cordy with the steal. And the layup is short. Couldn't finish.
Another great defensive play by Allison Cordy, but for the only time really here today, couldn't finish at the other end, but Cordy has been so aggressive on the defensive end.
3 ball has been friendly to Kyle today, but not that time. Cordy gets it to the right side, and Macy Arnold chooses to pull it back out for LCS. The fans in blue can start to feel it with 3.5 to play, but Kyle, not done yet, takes it away from Arnold, working the left side. Second try, still short, and there's Arnold for the rebounds. No shortage of hustle, and I think we'll be able to say that every game this state tournament, but definitely no shortage of hustle. West Point Beamer getting their hand on the basketball again, and a timeout by Lincoln Christian with 3:09 to go on the Faith Regional Health Services scoreboard. Christian in front by 14 on NCN.
So the medical field has rapidly evolved. It used to be one doctor was capable of taking care of everything. But now, over decades, we become more and more specialized, and that there's literally somebody like myself that's a hand surgeon, and then there's the next person that's a cataract surgeon. And by specializing, we become very good at our specific areas, and it's best for our patients, it's best for our communities to have people that are focused on specific problems. It's not to say that generalists don't serve a great purpose, they do. They're the keystone of medicine, but no longer are we in an era where one doctor is capable of understanding everything from the brain to the toes and from an infant to an elderly. You need people that are specialized, and that's what Faith Regional is transitioning into, is bringing in these specialties, becoming a regional referral center. In order to do that, we need a community that's willing to support this mission, and for us it involves a new medical office building to provide office space for them. Strong faith, healthy future.
Michael Shively, Alex Loroff, and Chris Williams on the sideline with you on News Channel Nebraska. 3 minutes to play in the first game of our day. And the full court pressure yields a turnover. Cordy has been more shaky in the fourth quarter against the pressure.
But again, the player that has not been shaky in this fourth quarter has been Olivia Hollenbeck, is almost single-handedly taking this game under her wing and has pushed this lead up to now 14. And again, time not on the side of West Point Beamer, and a turnover there will not help matters for the Cadets.
Looking for the backdoor cut out of the timeout. Taylor Shepard drew it up, but Lincoln Christian saw it coming, able to break it free. Now Hollenbeck on the perimeter. Hands it off to Cordy. Under 3 minutes.
You can see the defense really tightening up here for West Point Beamer. Committing a foul there, but you can just see closing that space between themselves and the Lincoln Christian ball handler, trying to get in there to force a steal, but a foul there called on the Cadets.
Their next foul will be a 1-and-1 opportunity for Lincoln Christian. The double team leads to a steal. Swanson in transition, blocked away. Barrett Power gets back and rejects it without committing a foul. He's knocked out of bounds and will stay with West Point Beamer.
Barrett Power maybe hasn't had the most flashy offensive game, but 10 boards for Power today.
Doesn't go, pardon me, Alex. And on the rebound, a foul called. They whistle it against West Point Beamer. It goes against Abby Dale, her second, and now into the bonus. Lincoln Christian to the free throw line, McKiley Ailes.
And for West Point Beamer, obviously, the positive is that the clock is now stopped, but this is a great opportunity now for Lincoln Christian to maybe ice this one at the free throw line if they can keep getting to the line, but they have to hit their shots. Ailes not able to do so there.
Just a 40% free throw shooter on the season. Didn't hit the front end, exactly what the Cadets needed to happen. Still down 14, they need to find offense. A team that scores over 54 per game held to 29.
They need to find offense, and they need to find it quickly. You would guess it's going to be mostly in the hands of Sierra Kyle at this juncture.
They get it down low. That's not where you're trying to go because Olivia Hollenbeck is there, and she gets a hand on everything. Her block total skyrocketing today. That time a clean rejection. The pass on the inbounds play off of the back of Arnold. Somehow gets back to West Point Beamer, and Sydney Swanson finishes.
Sydney Swanson has really started to heat up in this fourth quarter. But again, West Point Beamer needs more of that and needs it quickly, down by 12, and that will help.
Here's the steal. From the free throw line, Kyle. Nothing but nylon. Don't say never. She has 13 and the lead down to 10. I think at this point, if you're West Point Beamer, it's a steal or a foul, and there's the foul to send Arnold to the charity stripe for a 1-and-1.
And we talked about it before during the last trip that McKiley Ailes had to the line. The Cadets hoping that Arnold not able to hit the front end, trying to get it out quickly in transition, score a quick bucket, and again try and force that steal. It's not out of the realm of possibility, only down by 10 with a minute and a half left.
It rattles home for Macy Arnold. Her first points of the half, 9 in the game for the 6-foot junior. Averages 5.5 per contest. And now she's into double figures for Arnold. That's her third game this season is all. Breaking the 10-point barrier. Big free throws. Long three, Swanson off target. Christian secures the board and draws another foul. And they're starting to feel confident now.
And who else but Barrett Power there that the loose ball ended up in the hands of. As I was saying a little bit earlier, again, Power maybe it's not the most flashy game offensively, but she's gotten it done crashing the glass. Double-digit rebounds today for Power, has gotten it done sort of on those dirty plays that don't really fill up the stat sheet but are so important for teams.
Couldn't hit the first free throw, so the Cadets get a chance, down 12. They're resorting to the long threes to get back in it. Swanson has the putback. Arnold's fouled. Extending the game, the strategy for Taylor Shepard's team.
But now that foul will put Lincoln Christian into the double bonus, so it will be 2 free throws automatically now for Arnold. And still, deficit only at 10, a minute left. Anything can happen, especially when you're here at state. The magic of playing at the state tournament. Never know what you're going to see in these sorts of games, so West Point Beamer still with a shot here, but again, time not on the side of the Cadets.
0 for 2 at the line that time for Arnold, who hit the pair her previous trip. Not letting any easy 3 balls. Christian pressuring the ball away from the hoop. Kyle makes her way down low, draws the foul against Hollenbeck, just her second. That's something that I think Coach Shepard and company wanted to hear earlier. They wanted to get Hollenbeck in foul trouble, and it's a testament to her efforts that she was able to avoid that.
Especially with all the blocks that she has had today, avoiding contact with West Point Beemer, and that's so huge to have that player able to keep themselves out of foul trouble, and another block there by Hollenbeck.
They need to make a training video on how to avoid getting a foul with the block. She's running a clinic today. Under 30 seconds to play. And there's the foul from West Point Beemer. But it's moot at this point. Lincoln Christian preparing to head to the second round. They'll face the winner of our next game, Mitchell against Columbus Lakeview. That will be coming up immediately following this on News Channel Nebraska. Macy Arnold hits the free throw. We'll have a fun broadcast then, but to wrap this one up, West Point Beemer, a tremendous season. First trip as a consolidated school. West Point last went in 1977. Beemer last went in 1999, so a milestone year in the first season of a new coach.
Absolutely nothing to hang your head on if you're a West Point Beemer cadet, and showed great fight here today against Lincoln Christian. They were down by 15 at one point, could have easily just wilted away at that point, but able to battle their way back, but just couldn't get it all the way done here today.
Loose ball winds up with the blue, and the Crusaders can likely dribble this one out. The final ticks run off of the clock, and Lincoln Christian heading to the state semis for the 5th straight season. The final score on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard: Lincoln Christian 46, West Point Beemer 35. We'll take a break. When we come back, we have an interview with the winning coach and player of the game on News Channel Nebraska.
5 Points Bank provides the best in customer service, banking products, and technology.
The 5 Points Bank mobile banking app was designed to be safe with the best functionality. Easy to deposit checks, pay bills, check balances, and transfer funds right from your mobile device. Even manage your debit card, keeping you safe and in control. You'll love the mobile app.
5 Points Bank, the better bank, is proud of being a national leader in bank technology, making your banking more accessible, easier, and safer.
Hi there, how can we help you?
I was wondering, if my check engine light's on, what does that mean?
Well, let's find out.
Tire and Auto, a tradition of trust.
It's time for a reality check. You don't have to drive far to buy a Toyota or a Honda. Go to Cornhusker in Grand Island, the only dual Toyota Honda dealer in the state. We offer performance, comfort, and fuel efficiency in a beautiful, affordable package, new and pre-owned, right here. And service after the sale? Well, it just makes more sense to maintain your new vehicle close to home. That's the reality at Cornhusker Toyota Honda, Grand Island.
Welcome back to the Bob Devaney Sports Center. The first game in the books. The final score, Lincoln Christian 46, West Point Beemer 35. Let's head sideline. Here's Chris Williams.
We'll start with Lincoln Christian head coach Nick Orduna, but we do have the player of the game, Olivia Hollenbeck, right here on my right. We'll start with you. Yeah. A 9-0 run to begin the game. How were you able to get the team ready to get such a fast start?
Yeah, we've struggled the last couple of games of getting a fast start. So we talked about the importance of that in this tournament. You can't have those quarters where it takes a little while to get going. So very pleased to see the way the girls came out and built that lead. I think it took a little while for West Point Beemer to figure out what we were doing on defense. We threw some junk at them, and it allowed us to build that lead and kind of keep them wondering what we were doing.
So a lot of that success was the game plan. Well, now less than 24 hours before tip-off in the semifinals tomorrow. What does that 24-hour plan look like? How do you get ready to do this again?
Yeah, just continue to play good basketball. I mean, the girls have practiced well this week. We kind of have an idea with both Mitchell and Columbus Lakeview do. So we'll just have a good walkthrough and hope the girls can take the floor and just give their best effort.
And then can you talk to me about the performance of Olivia right here to my right?
Yeah, she's had a great year. She's been balling this year. She does it inside. She's a true post. She can catch. and finish on the left or right. She's doing good at seeing her teammates now because when she gets doubled, she's recognizing that. And she is just a force inside, and that's what it makes it's difficult for a lot of teams to match up with her because of her skill set.
Well, she definitely had a heck of a game, and that's why she is our player of the game. We'll shift over to you now. You were a big part of that quick start that we just talked about. You had 10 points in the first half alone. How were you able to kind of set the tone for your team and let them build off what you were doing?
I know that I have to be a presence inside with all the leadership that we lost last year. We lost a lot of really good talent too. So I knew that I was going to have to be big inside. So that was my goal for the first half, and just to lead my team.
And so last year you guys went to the semifinals, obviously didn't get the result you wanted. How is it going to be different? How are you approaching it differently this year?
We're going in to win it, and we'll see how it goes.
Are you pretty excited, nervous? How are you feeling right now?
I'm super excited. I think I really like this team, and I think we have what it takes.
Okay, and then I want to talk to you about Allison Cordy. She really seemed like she changed the pace of the game. You do a lot of it inside with those blocks and a lot of your rebounding. She seemed like she was running the court. How do you guys work in tandem and kind of get that 1-2 punch?
Yeah, she works really good with getting those steals and getting fast breaks, and then when we go into me, it's a little bit more slower, breaking it down, getting into the hoop. So we work good together, I think.
All right, well, congratulations, both of you, and I'll give you some time to prepare tomorrow for the semifinal game. For now, we'll go back up to Alex and Michael as we get ready for the next game coming up right here in the Devaney Sports Center.
So that was your Teal Haas coach's interview with Nick Orduna. He's going back to a place he's used to, the state semifinals for the 5th straight season. And your Dream It Do It player of the game, Olivia Hollenbach, brought to you by Dream It Do It. Let your skills pay the bills. Check them out at dreamitdoit.com. And Olivia Hollenbach finishes with 18 points, and she took over that fourth quarter. Alex had 6 straight at one point. After it was cut to just an 8-point lead, she took over. That was the game plan for Christian, and they executed it down the stretch.
And that's what you need your top players to do. You need them to be able to take over those sorts of games. When West Point Beamer was starting to make that run, Olivia Hollenbach was able to shut things down and pull this one out for Lincoln Christian.
The final score on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard, Lincoln Christian 46, West Point Beamer 35. When we come back, we'll have your highlights from the first game and get you set for game number 2 on News Channel Nebraska.
Participating in multiple Nebraska high school activities has taught me the value of teamwork.
I learned how to be a strong leader among my peers.
We set goals as a team and work hard to accomplish them.
I strive to excel not only in the classroom but on the playing field.
The Nebraska School Activities Association providing opportunities in 25 activities for our member high schools. NSAA activities, the other half of education.
Early mornings, late nights, emotionally, physically, mentally tougher. Generations of trust, innovation, and hard work done side by side. The decisions you make for your land and livestock have a direct impact on your operation, the region, and the world. That is why we're there when you need us anytime, every time. We both have one chance, one season, one mission. Tougher together. Aurora and you.
At Columbus Motor Company, they're proud to be the first car dealer to bring the best price philosophy to Columbus. Columbus Motor Company has always believed that when buying a new vehicle, the customer shopping experience should come first. No hype, no gimmicks, just consistent quality service every time you shop. And don't forget, Columbus Motor Company is the only dealership that offers a 5-day, 30-day policy. Stop by for the President's Day sales event going on now, or shop online at columbusmotorcompanyne.com. Columbus Motor Company, one low price, plain and simple, always.
You manage the farm, Midwest Bank Agency will manage the risk. Crop insurance gives you the peace of mind knowing that you will be able to stay in business should the unexpected happen. And Midwest Bank Agency agents Josh Gossman and Michael Keister have the experience, technology, and the crop insurance products you need when the unexpected does happen. If it is time to consider a new crop insurance provider, contact them today by calling your local Midwest Bank or check them out online at midwestbank.com.
I love working at USAVE because I really like working in a small town. I get a sense of community and I get to help the customers every day.
You get the brand recognition, but most of the USAVEs are independently owned, so you have a small town pharmacy environment where you do know your patients.
We take pride in serving our community.
I hope they know that we are trying our very best to deliver the best customer service at a fair and good price as well.
Trust your local USAVE pharmacy, part of the Health Mart family of pharmacies.
Lincoln Christian earned an 11-point win over West Point Beemer to move on to the state semifinals in our first game of the day. Let's take a look at your top plays. Lincoln Christian entering the game 17-8, the number 5 seed. West Point Beemer 23-2, number 4 in Class C1. Quarterfinal action and the first game of the day at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. It was all Lincoln Christian from the start. They got it going from long range. The three-pointer for Macy Arnold. It was a 9-0 spurt for Lincoln Christian, led by defense. Allison Cordy with the steal and the finish. She had a monster game, turning defense into offense. West Point Beemer trying to get going offensively, and their weapon to turn to, Sierra Kyle. She had all 6 first-quarter points for West Point Beemer, connecting from long range, 13-6 after 1 quarter. Olivia Hollenbeck with the leak out. You cannot lose track of Hollenbeck. Had 2 of her 18 right there. More from Kyle, this time way far away. Sierra Kyle going to Midland University next season. But that's what happens when you try to go against Hollenbeck. She gets the swat, one of her many blocks in the game. Blocks were friendly to the other side as well. Sierra Kyle having an excellent first half. West Point Beemer trying to get back into it. A 2-point jumper from the baseline for Sydney Swanson. Her only points in the first half, though. That's the kind of game it was, especially in the first half. The three-pointer for Macy Arnold banked in. Hollenbeck says, no, you don't. She said that a few times more in the rest of the game. Second half action, there's Cordy taking it to the rack. Allison Cordy finished with 10 for the team in blue and red. Working their way back into it, Rachel Groth with the three-pointer. It was as big as a 16-point lead in the second half, as small as an 8-point lead. That's when it started to go the way of Hollenbeck. Had that put back. She scored 6 straight at one point. Swanson with the basket trying to get the team back into it. And she was able to keep them within shouting distance, but it winds up as a victory for Lincoln Christian. They're heading to the semifinals for the 5th straight season with a 46-35 win over West Point Beemer. Coming up next on News Channel Nebraska, we have another quarterfinal matchup from Class C1. They're on the court right now. The top-seeded Mitchell Tigers against the number 8 Columbus Lakeview Vikings. That's coming your way next. You won't want to miss game number 2. We're here all day at the Bob Devaney Sports Center. Stay tuned to News Channel Nebraska.